My mom was born in Germany. She was born in Frankfurt in 1933. She later decided that she wanted to come to the U.S., and that was in about like 1958, I believe. Moved to New York City, and she became a nanny for a Jewish family, a wealthy Jewish family. And so that's how she came to the States. My mom decided while she was in New York that she wanted to serve in the intelligence services. And specifically, she wanted to become an interpreter, a German interpreter for the armed services. My mom met my dad. It's kind of a funny story because my dad is from the Philippines and my mom is from Germany, and they met in Denver. My parents had been married for about 15 years, and I was in the 5th grade at the time. We were living in Vacaville, California. Before my parents had divorced, they essentially separated. So even though they weren't divorced, they were apart. And my mom really took care of us kids by herself. My mom finally filed for divorce because my dad had just one too many affairs that she just couldn't tolerate it anymore. My mom met Brian Reeve, through Richard. Brian was just a kid. I mean, he was a kid. He was like 19. Brian is 20 years my mom's junior. There's a 20-year difference between them. Brian and my mom decided to get married, and so they did. And so here's this kid. I mean, he's a kid marrying a woman 20 years older than him, with kids who are only like 5 to 8 years younger than him. Right? So it was a very unusual situation. My mom and Brian decided that it would be a good idea for them to come to Salt Lake because Brian was from Salt Lake City. Yeah, we were a dysfunctional family. It was not. It wasn't a really good. It wasn't a good situation at all. My parents, my mom and Brian, eventually moved to Bicknell, Utah, southern Utah. And the reason they moved down there was because Brian's father, Lynn, owned some property in Loa.
I was working 3 jobs. I was a sophomore in high school, and one of the things I remember doing is going to see where it used to be a waitress at Dee's restaurants. We didn't have anything, we didn't have any money. And we'd come in and you were always like the king. She would show you around, she'd introduce you, but this is my son, this is my kids, these are what, and she always talked about you. She always talked about you, and there was always a cup of hot chocolate, It was always a cup of hot chocolate. It was always comforting, because it didn't matter your day, didn't matter her day. You knew she was proud and happy to see you, and always came with a cup of hot chocolate. I remember something about her saying that her arm had begun to hurt. I said prayers with her, and then she lapsed into a coma and passed. She hung on for a little bit. I was kind of a tough kid, the kind that would throw a temper tantrum or something if I didn't get my way. But she was always there. She was always there. Whether it was wrong or right, she comforted me. I would dream about her, and I still do, even after all these years. When I wake up, I hold on to those dreams. I hold on to her because she's there.
She was your typical riches to rags story, but still died happy and full of riches because it was riches from compassion and love. If I was a good mom, if I was as good of a mom as she was, am I teaching my daughter the same values in life that she's taught me? That's probably the only question I would ask her.
I just miss having her here to be with our family and enjoy all the different things that our families have been through, and all the little triumphs and the laughter and the fun that we've been able to have together, but had to have it without her. But I just know that she's here in spirit, so that's what matters the most.
She knew how to make people laugh. Like I said, she was very positive most of the time, and very happy when I was with her. So she made you want to be positive. She made you want to be happy. We laughed a lot. Her and I, And she laughed at her children all the time. There was always, in her laugh, being that German accent and hearing that laugh, there's nothing like it. I told her, I said, I'm taking the worry button. It's all mine. And I'll take care of your Bobby and your grandchildren. So it's okay, Jean. It's okay. And Jackie was there and knows this. She expressed the same thoughts. And we both witnessed tears from her eyes. And that was very special for us, because we knew she was listening. And we left with a little bit of peace, knowing that we had expressed and told her it was okay. And it was the next day, early morning, or in the middle of the night. It was the middle of the night that we were told she had passed. I'm so blessed and so lucky to meet such a fabulous woman and to be able to call her mom.
Cinderella. How you feeling, Ted?
Say daddy.
Daddy. Daddy. Say forget it. Don't even think about it.
Okay.